So, what do we got here? We have got the ugly Annealer, and it is Australian. Yay! You know what? I was going to wave at a little Australian flag. Guess what? In this friggin' town that I live, you can't buy an Australian flag. Yeah, something else to bitch about. So I'll show you the footage of the thing operating. Okay, I've got the ugly Annealer loaded to the hilt. That's a lot of cases. I'll give you a count later on. I'm not sure how many there are there, but so you can see my reflection. So I'm going to get it going, and then we'll see how she goes, how she copes. So it's working well. I've not had a hiccup. I took a bit of mucking around, figure out the position of the flame, how far away and timing and whatnot, but yeah, it's going well. Okay, so you saw that. Now, one of the difficult cartridges to deal with is 303 British, and but you sort of got to muck around with it a bit, move the drive wheel in and out and whatnot, and but here's some footage of it being processed, just a dry run. I wasn't annealing it. There you go. Just doing a a dummy run of 303 British, because this is the one cartridge that really does need annealing, because they stretch so much. And as you can see, there's a bit of jumbling with regard to cases in the hopper, which is not unexpected when you've got rimmed cartridges. But as you can see, they're sort of ending up pretty flush at the back. Well, they end up, because the unit is tilted slightly back, they do end up flush with the unit, the rims, the back of the case anyway. So, ooh, I just had one fall out. Drop that back in there. Yeah, this plastic guard, which holds the cases in, well, you only really need it for the rimmed cartridges, and it's because I had to have it so far back. I just had a case just fall out, and it dropped into there. But yeah, so ooh, okay, what happened? All right. So I had a case jammed in. Yeah, it was jammed in there. So with these rimmed cartridges, really tapered rimmed cartridges like this, and probably the Russian, you probably got to really keep an eye on it. Whereas with those 3006 cartridges, they just went smooth as. So it's really only the tapered rimmed cartridges, 303 British and 7x54 Russian, something like that, that you really got to keep an eye on it. But yeah, it works. Okay, so that first video was of 150 cases of 30-06, and it took about, I don't know, 25 minutes, which is pretty good. In the past, I've been mucking around a lot. But so what you get with the ugly Annealer is the unit itself. You get some sort of instruction, which is not bad. You get a pouch with spares, and also the voltage adjustment knob comes in it. You get and you get Allen keys, hex keys, and these are pretty good quality actually. The brand is Churen, but that's all that writing is Japanese. I can tell Chinese from Japanese, and that's Japanese, so yeah, it's sold in Japan. You get a second wheel, which is a thinner one, which is for I'd say for like 22 Hornet, short pistol cases, things like that. If you are doing Hornet brass, you have to buy a separate cartridge holder, which are these things. With the unit, you get 338 Lapua Magnum, you get 300 Winchester Magnum, you get 308, you get 7.62 by 39, you get 223. So that sort of covers most things. And the 308, I actually used that when I was running the 303 British brass dry and run through it. Worked fine. I just advanced the what's it called? I advanced that wheel. Well, I advanced the drive wheel. That's the drive wheel, like that. Just so that rim would get behind it. Now, so this cost me $369 delivered to my door on eBay. I did go to, what's the company called? The company's called, where are you? The company's called, I haven't even got your name on here. Derek Cop. No, Deraco. Yeah, Deraco. So so this is apparently an Australian invention, even though I'm going to sound racist here, but the designers are Cheng Fei, studied civil engineering in University of Tasmania, and Yuan Dong Hao, studied mechanical engineering, mould manufacturing in Luoyang Military Engineering University. Okay, and my understanding is that it's put together here in Australia. I don't think any part of this device is actually made in Australia. I think it's all made in China and then assembled here in Australia. I think. I don't know. I want to get sued, but that's my impression. And that may sound like I'm talking in the pejorative, but I'm not. It really is a really, really well made, good unit. There's really not many things that I can say bad about it. For what you are getting for the price, I don't think you can go wrong. That's why I got it, because I've been sort of eyeing off various different units, and yeah, for there's ones that are a lot more expensive that are pretty much the same thing, and there's different designs and that. I've even had a go at making one myself. It wasn't a failure, but it was, yeah, it's a lot easier just to buy this. And so I've been thinking about getting it for quite a while, and I finally got it. So there's a readout up here. Oops. So that readout there, that is actually volts, and so the volts controls the speed, and that's done via that knob there. Now there's a power button which you switch on and off, so you can pause it. Like you can pause it while you're annealing. If you think something's wrong, you can just hit pause and fix the problem or adjust it or whatever. So what you do is, obviously it takes a little bit of experience dealing with it, and with certain cases about how long it takes to anneal that case, and because the only real adjustment is the speed via the volts. So because that's just a potentiometer, just adjusts the amount of volts getting fed in. Now, once you've got it pretty much, so I've actually written on the back here, 308, 53. So 53 is, I don't know, it's not 53 volts, whatever 53 represents, is the setting that I have, that I figured out for 30-06. So when that would be much the same for 308. It's just a shorter case, but it's exactly the same diameter neck and whatnot. So I haven't really got much else to say. It's a really, really good unit. Now this thing here, which slides in there, and you can tighten it up like that, that will stop the cases from falling out. It shouldn't happen. The unit, I need to really unattach this, but the unit, the front of the unit slopes back slightly. Attach this gas bottle, and in fact I will take the gas bottle out. See. Take this gas bottle out. Come on down. Okay, so you've got, you do get this sort of gas bottle foot thing, which, yeah, comes in handy. You do need to have it up, standing up on a pedestal, so that's probably around, I don't know, 100 mil, to be able to feed off that ramp, the feeding ramp, into whatever, into a bowl like I had there. That's how I had it. I actually had that bowl sitting up higher. Yeah, so the unit is really, really well made. There's really not much that can go wrong. There's not much I can say about it. If you're thinking of buying, if you've had a look at these and you've been thinking about buying it, just buy it. It really does make, you know, if you're someone who anneals cases, and anyone who reloads or hand loads should anneal cases. It's full stop. So if you anneal cases, just get one of the, and you don't want to pay, like, you don't want to buy, I don't know how much the induction annealers cost. They're supposed to be the shit, you know, but my God, that's some serious bucks. So if you just want to anneal brass on a budget, and you don't want to make one yourself, because you know what, the amount of mucking around, alright, if you're really strapped for cash or you're a real tight ass, and I know a lot, make it yourself. Otherwise you're not going to make it as good as this. There is only one thing that I would have changed. The back of the machine, I would have made just a removable panel, just an unclipped panel, so you can get to everything at the back, because when you're first setting it up, and otherwise sometimes you do have to get to the insides, and the only way you can get to the insides is through the base. The base is screwed on via 6 screws. Yes, whoops, and that happens when you tilt it up, all the holders come out. Now, as I have said, I was sort of, I was a bit dubious about 303 cases, running 303 cases through it. It does work. It certainly does work. You do have to keep an eye on it. Unlike the 30-06 cases, I could have just switched that on, set it, and forgotten about it, and come back 20 minutes later. Well, I mean, 30-06 is not a straight walled case. It is slightly tapered, but generally speaking, it is essentially a straight walled case, rimless. And if that's what you're dealing with, then you can pretty much set and forget, although I wouldn't do that. With the 303, I did have it stall, or I might have stalled with one of these, I don't know. But yeah, you don't want to burn your motor out because you're too lazy to just sit there and keep an eye on it. So, all in all, other than the actual unit itself, you just need one of these. Just, it's not very expensive. You're not going to be paying much, and they do last for quite a long time. So, if you're thinking about getting one, just get it. If all the instructions, all you have to do is scan this code, or just go on their website, www.duraco.com, or just Google ugly Annealer. Go away, bloody fly. I'm not sure why they decided to call it the ugly Annealer, because it's quite an attractive unit. It's not ugly at all. That might be irony, or their attempt at it, I don't know. But it's a great unit, it works fine, and I'm really, really glad that I got it. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but it's fantastic. So, there you go, some free advertising for our two Chinese gentlemen for this Australian unit. So, get yourself one, you won't regret it. See you later.